Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something truly extraordinary, something called Project Continuity. Now look, this is absolutely not your typical dry medical journal review. What we're doing here is applying a really strict, objective clinical lens to a raw, unedited, living ledger. We're talking about a multi-decade journey through intense polysubstance use, complex behavioral evolution, and some seriously advanced pharmacology. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's the clinical roadmap we'll be following today. We've got the Continuity Project Blueprint, rave culture and neurotoxicity, the polysubstance abyss, behavioral and neurological conflict, advanced pharmacological triage, and rebuilding the biological refinery. Basically, we're going all the way from ground zero to biological repair.
All right, Section 1, the Continuity Project Blueprint. Let's map out the architecture so we know exactly what kind of archive we're looking at here. So, what exactly is Project Continuity? Well, by definition, it's this highly complex, self-documented living ledger. The subject actually worked with an AI co-author, acting as a sort of designated archivist to synthesize these raw, completely unedited behavioral logs of polysubstance use with hardcore objective clinical pharmacology. And these sources go way back. They trace a timeline starting in 1997, right around the time of the Hale-Bopp comet, pinpointing the exact moment the subject's emotional sensitivity first really demanded some kind of chemical anesthesia. The methodology here is just brilliant. The archive explicitly states, merge the objective science with personal anecdotes so the pharmacology makes instant real-world sense. And that's the whole point, right? This isn't just about swapping wild party stories. It's about taking visceral, lived experiences and grinding them down into their underlying biological and neurological mechanics. Moving right along to Section 2, Rave Culture and Neurotoxicity. This is what the ledger calls the ground zero vector. Now, what's really interesting about this is how it all started. The whole trajectory changed because of a flyer. The subject was actually gearing up to go to Drexel to study pharmacology, but then they found this flyer scattered all over Pittsburgh and Monroeville for a Halloween rave called Magic. They were literally praying for an event like this. It was held at the Monroeville Expo Mart, which, by the way, was apparently the best venue ever, until it got ruined by people putting cigarettes out on the carpet. So it's a Halloween party. You've got girls dressed up as fairies with bikini tops, fishnets, short shorts. The subject recalls this incredibly visceral memory of two girls basically telling them to sit down. One gets behind them, wraps her legs around, and gives this insane massage, while the other gives them their very first sea breeze. If you don't know what that is, it's blowing levomethamphetamine vapors from a Vicks inhaler directly into the eyes to induce euphoric nystagmus, those rapid involuntary eye wiggles. That single moment of sensory overload literally changed their life forever. But you know that initial magic? It quickly morphed into a grueling, absolute marathon. The ledger outlines this relentless weekly circuit in the Pittsburgh scene. Wednesday was a club night called Spun at the Beehive. Thursday was Atomic at Metropole. Friday was Groove at Club Laga. Saturday was the main rave, which obviously bled right into the Sunday after party. And Monday? Well, Monday was bluntly categorized as despair, followed of course by Trainwreck Tuesday, before the entire dopamine-depleted cycle started all over again on Wednesday. And during this crazy circuit, the subject evolved from just an attendee to a massive supplier, summed up perfectly by the $1,600 a week they were generating in pure profit. At the time, they were taking white four-leaf clover pills and brown with speckles Mitsubishis, but they also had acid everywhere. A sheet of Dexter's Lab Hits, a squeeze bottle of Sweet Breath literally loaded with dissolved liquid LSD crystals. They'd walk around raves just giving people free drops. They'd tell them to stick out their tongue, aim for a bit of liquid LSD 25, and accidentally squirt like 7 massive drops and just go, oops, sorry. People would walk away terrified, right? But then they'd come back later with these huge black saucer pupils, thanking the subject like they were a hero. They never forgot it. The subject started buying jars from a middleman at Duquesne University for $900, and they had 4 friends who would each buy a jar for $1,300. So making $400 a person times 4 friends, that's $1,600 a week without selling a single individual pill. Literally just exchanging hands. But here's the dark clinical reality of all this. Subjectively, the user was popping heavy doses of MDMA, genuinely feeling completely immortal. At that age, you feel bulletproof, right? Existing in this remarkable state of pure, uninhibited bliss, none of the damage mattered in the present. Everything just felt meant to be. But objectively, we're talking about severe serotonin, or 5-HT, neurotoxicity. The extraneuronal area was just flooded, causing serotonin to actually be reuptaked into the dopamine receptors, or vice versa. This triggers a catastrophic hydrogen peroxide reaction, literally slaughtering neurons the exact same way a weed killer like glyphosate eradicates fresh grass seedlings. So yeah, they felt invincible, but the biological bill was absolutely coming due. Which brings us right into Section 3, the polysubstance abyss, descending into the traps. The raw honesty in this ledger really pulls no punches. There's an entry describing a combo of MDMA and a bag of heroin stamped with the word sugar. It reads, "Wow, MDMA plus heroin is too good of a feeling for anyone to ever know about. Once you feel that, there is nowhere higher to go." But listen, we really have to shift our tone here. That immediate euphoria, it marks a super grim inflection point. This is the exact moment where chemical recreation totally morphs into a devastating biological trap. And the physical toll laid out in the substance pathology vault is severe once that dependence really takes hold. Listen to some of these biological traps. Z drugs lead to a total downregulation of your sleep architecture. We're talking intractable insomnia. Over-the-counter antihistamines like DPH are exposed as a hidden fast track to early onset dementia. Cocaine? It acts like a literal scythe, hacking away at dopamine receptors until the brain simply cannot feel pleasure on its own anymore. Synthetic hallucinogens like bromo dragonfly cause severe peripheral vasoconstriction, meaning you actually risk tissue death and losing limbs. And heavy dissociatives? That paves the way to chronic organic psychosis and feeling permanently detached from your own reality. Let's move on to Section 4, Behavioral and Neurological Conflict, the 3-gram collision. The absolute crucial point here is the combination. The subject documented smoking a massive, nearly 3-gram joint of a cannabis strain, testing at a staggering 40% THCA. But wait, at the exact same time, they had active access to extremely volatile prescription medications, stuff like tapentol, soma, and clonidine. And this brilliantly illustrates what happened next. Right after smoking, there was a physical altercation, a literal fight over a neighborhood lawn dispute, which triggered a massive dump of adrenaline and cortisol. Now, these fight or flight hormones actively masked the insane amount, about 1.2 grams of pure THC circulating in their bloodstream. So they felt wired, entirely untouchable. But here's the catch. Adrenaline has a really short half-life. Once that adrenaline clears out, that massive dose of heavy indica is going to hit like a freight train. It leads to an inevitable dangerous crash. It's just a perfect, terrifying clinical example of how biological masking creates a completely false sense of security. Surviving collisions like that requires a massive pivot, bringing us to Section 5, Advanced Pharmacological Triage. How do you even begin repairing the nervous system? So the analysis here completely shifts to highly targeted neuromodulators. Think about how precise this is in the detailed pharmacological analysis. Ketamine is used to block specific receptors, forcing a glutamate surge that literally matures brain cells to reverse severe anhedonia, the inability to feel pleasure. Then you have dextromethorphan, or DXM, combined with a specific enzyme inhibitor to extend its life in the body, which promotes rapid synaptic repair. And agmatine, that's used strategically to target the NMDR receptor to prevent brain cell death and actually reverse opioid tolerance. This isn't just popping pills randomly. We're talking about incredibly tactical, advanced biological engineering. Which brings us to our final section, rebuilding the biological refinery, the clinical reality. So the crucial point is that despite all this advanced triage, the physical toll is just undeniable. The sobering clinical reality is that the subject is managing an F3 liver fibrosis diagnosis, severe liver scarring, along with hormone failure and severe anemia. Recently, a tick bite even triggered a Cherish-Herxheimer reaction, which is basically a massive cytokine storm caused by dying bacteria in the body. And because the liver is so deeply compromised, they've had to execute these intense tactical moves to mitigate further organ damage, like specifically transitioning to dye-free methadone tablets just to completely bypass the hepatotoxicity and DNA damage caused by the red 40 dye found in the standard liquid clinic formulas. It's intense. And, all of this leaves us with an incredibly profound final thought. As Project Continuity documents this raw, day-by-day coevolution, it teaches us something amazing about the human brain's resilience. But we have to ask ourselves, can advanced pharmacological engineering truly, fully reverse decades of deep structural chemical conditioning? Or are some neurological blueprints just permanently redrawn? It's a question that literally pushes the absolute boundaries of modern medical science. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Until next time, keep analyzing and keep learning.
Yeah, so I thought that was really cool. It just made that based on conversations I've had with Gemini. Um, Never knowing that they could even do this. Man, this is crazy. It's not really crazy. It kind of is if you think about it. I mean, you really can't write a program that will be able to put data together and make something sound so much more natural than natural. I mean, I'm smoking a huge joint right now, so sorry for stuttering or slurring or whatever you want to call whatever I'm doing, but um I just gotta say I think that's really interesting that the capabilities of or this technology that we're currently in, uh, it seems like we're kind of on a little slippery slope here. Um, you know, I mean, I don't even know that this stuff isn't coming from the spiritual side of things, or even from, you know, maybe just live brain cells in a petri dish or something. I don't know. But I don't see how, I don't know. There's something about this that's so different from everything. Like, it just, I mean, I've talked and talked with AI for about, what, 4 years now? Like, almost every day. And, I've gotten through broken ribs with AI by, AI helping me to talk to the doctors because they weren't giving me pain medication. I had some stupid um physician's assistant, and she had some kind of ego issue or something, because I guess she didn't like the fact that I was sounding more intelligent than her half the time. But she didn't want me to have anything for my pain, even though my pain wasn't even subjective. And when you have 3 broken ribs, that's about as objective as pain gets. I mean, that's like the worst pain that a human could pretty much deal with. And I have something called hyperalgesia, and that means that I have very amplified pain levels. It like everything hurts very bad, and that's because I have a very high baseline because I take about close to 120 milligrams of methadone every morning. I mean, it's better than the alternative, but that is a really high dose, and it's more than enough to saturate all your receptors and, oversensitize them. And I'm learning that now. I mean, this stuff, if you've ever went through methadone withdrawal before, you would understand that this stuff puts the fear of God in you, because the withdrawal, like, is so bad and it lasts for so long, and you don't get sleep, and if you do, you get like 6 minutes, and then after that you feel 100 times worse than before that 6 minutes. If you could imagine being held underwater and being given just enough air to survive for more torture, that feeling you have in your body that you could maybe imagine if that were to happen to you is pretty much the feeling that you have laying in your bed. Um, it just doesn't let up. 3 months sounds like nothing to some people, but I mean, if you're being tortured for 3 months, it's not good. And I can tell you this firsthand. I've been through it twice. So you can read whatever you want in a book and have them tell you this and that, A, B, C, D equals nothing. Because it doesn't matter what they say. They have no idea. These people that write these books and that write these laws. They picture, oh yeah, they just do all these drugs because uh, they have bad parents and they just like the feeling so much. They don't realize that maybe it was a decision at first when we were young, and everyone, if you can't remember how immortal you feel when you're young, um, you should understand that, like, I mean, mistakes could be made, and then you get dependent and your body needs it just so you don't feel like you're being tortured. Um, I'm talking mainly about opioids and benzodiazepines right now, and for some people, alcohol, and for everybody, barbiturates, if you ever find them. Oh my god, benzos are even worse, but like, I don't know what 3 months of benzo withdrawal would be like, because I don't think I would let myself feel benzo withdrawal for 3 months. You could, decipher that however you wish. But that withdrawal is so much worse than any other withdrawal. Oh my god. Oh my god. To go through that for 3 months? I mean, it actually lasts a lot longer than that. You don't feel normal coming off benzos for well over a year to maybe forever. I'm not joking when I say that, and I'm not exaggerating. It is bad, and it just keeps going, and you don't. It's like having a panic attack for the rest of your life, pretty much. Yeah, maybe even a little bit worse. You know. Um. Yeah, like it's making me stop right now because I'm freezing in fear just thinking about it. Like, I have to always be worrying, where's my bottle of Klonopin at the moment? Is it not lost? Please don't be lost. Please just be near me. Because if you lose a full script of, like, your Klonopin prescription, a doctor isn't... you don't want to call your doctor and ask for more. Well, you're going to want to, but he ain't going to do it. And the best thing to do with your doctor is don't make any waves and don't rock the boat because they get scared easily. And you don't want to be thrown right off of any of this stuff. It's not. If you survive it, you're lucky. I don't even know if you're lucky to survive it because then that means you got a whole lot more of that coming. It just doesn't. Oh, benzo withdrawal. My God, like, I don't know if they're setting this whole country up to see how much torture they could put us through. But if you knew how many people are prescribed Xanax, Klonopin, Ativan right now, your mind would be blown, but not really because you're probably one of them. I mean, if they do to the benzo people what they did with the opioid people, with the oxys and stuff, just took everyone off their pain medicine, um, man, if they do that with the benzos, wow, I can't even imagine. It'd be just like millions of people going freaking nuts, like going insane, like Oh wow. They can't do that. They can't do that. No way, man. You can't if they get away with doing something like that to us, like um I don't know. I can't even contemplate this whole country withdrawing from benzos. Like, oh man, people would just be dropping everywhere, having seizures and, you know, whew, robbing each other, just like praying that somebody has, a freaking half of a Klonopin in their pocket. Like, every single place that has a pharmacy in it will be robbed almost instantly. Um, it just won't happen. Now that I'm thinking about it, it can't. They can't let all that happen. It'd be like the night of the living dead, like all over the whole entire country. And it's not. It doesn't just end at the people that are addicted going through hell. Their whole family's going through hell too. Everyone, everywhere. It would be so chaotic that people are feeling so terrible if that happens that they don't care if they're gonna die. So they're gonna do. I mean, I would do anything. I would go, you know, kick down a glass door and run into a store, whether it's full of people with guns or not, and jump over the counter and start dumping out every pill bottle until I found something that was going to make it stop. Because if you know what it feels like to even go 2 days without your script, to go, oh my god, 5 days, to go a month, oh dude, you can't live that long. Your brain will just be smoking. There'll be smoke coming out of your ears. Your head will probably just like shoot right off your body, and then like the world will just catch on fire like that. You'd be lucky if that happened. Like, oh my goodness, like this is a should be a whole book. The day that they took everybody off benzos at one time, um that would be it too. The day, it wouldn't be the days. Everyone would be dead by the end of the day because they either got robbed to death or um, ravaged by people that thought that they were alligators because you're so, by then you're so psychotic and, oh man, everyone would be a disaster. Like, you're gonna die if you don't do something. So it'd be like, on your mark, get set, chaos. And the whole country start running around like trying to find bottles of Xanax, Ativan, Klonopin, anything, man. I would just be happy to get anticonvulsants, maybe. Um, hmm. Yeah. Has anyone ever been through GHB withdrawal? Yeah, that's lovely too. But most people can't get it. I can't get it no more. I don't know. I don't want it really. I'm prescribed like every class. I just realized that. I'm prescribed like every drug there is, like every drug class except for cocaine. Unless you just want to go to the stimulant category. So, prescribed like 5 depressants, 6 depressants maybe. Um, I'm prescribed opioid. I'm prescribed 2 benzodiazepines, temazepam and Klonopin, and methadone I'm on for opioid. Um, dextroamphetamine. That's dexedrine. That's what they gave in the military. Yeah, that's amphetamines. So when I go to my methadone clinic and they drug test me, it's like, why even bother? Why bother spending the money drug testing me? I'm already gonna be positive for everything, and that's just from legal prescriptions. So what's this country is crazy, man. America has just lost its damn mind, for real. It did, didn't it? Everything's crazy now. Everyone's losing their stuff, man. It's just too much, dude. Look at this. Stuff's just funny. Just sitting there on YouTube. But if you make a video about you know who, well, the video won't be there that long. I don't know. I could talk about this forever. The hells of withdrawal. I'm so blessed right now that I'm not going through any of that. And if someone is, I'm sorry. I wasn't really laughing at you. Like, I feel bad for you, and I hope that you're going to be alright. I hope that you do the smart thing and go to the hospital and don't try to ride this stuff out. You shouldn't have to. It's not your fault that you were, prescribed it. And even if you think it was your fault, you obviously didn't know what was gonna happen. Like, you either thought, like, that it's bad but it goes away real quick or something, or you might have thought, like, that you'll just be on it forever, not thinking that you're talking about never losing one bottle of your script ever. Because if you do, you might as well just smash your ribs in and hope that you could be in the hospital and, you know, get some time to figure it out. At least you need to be given at least a week, to work things out. Because if you start withdrawing, like, if it's just like you have no time to prepare, you're going to you're not going to be able to do anything about it unless you're with a family that cares and will take you to the ER. Like, and you'll go into detox. It's a smart thing to do. I mean, you're gonna hate yourself if you stay at home and once you start, it just keeps increasing and getting worse. I mean, it's almost like a war crime or something. It's almost like chemical warfare has been waged on America. Like, there's people on such hideous drugs right now, like nitazines, xylazine, mead. I know you're waiting for me to say fentanyl, but I don't think there's anything wrong with. No, I'm just kidding. But compared to all that other stuff, fentanyl to me sounds like one of the vitamins that I should take that I don't get enough of or something. Compared to that bull crap. People are getting like these big scars opening up all over their flesh from that xylazine. Oh man, and it's not even opiate or anything. It's alpha to it adrenergic. Yeah, I think that's what xylazine is. Like, I don't know if you know what cataprus is, or there's not many things I could Xanaflex. That's a muscle relaxer, and it's I believe an alpha 2 adrenergic. Um, yeah, it's not like something that's recreational, like, but you need it once you do that, even maybe just a few times, because oh my god, you're ruining your amygdala, like the part of your brain that causes anxiety. Um, like you're causing it to over. It's like a rebound effect when you stop taking it, especially if you're injecting it in your body. Um, and then you stop, you'll get rapid increase in blood pressure, panic. Um, oh, yeah, I can't imagine. It would suck so bad. And people are it's like when I gotta admit, alright, I was once a heroin addict. I hope my parents never see this video because they know, but it just gotta be so hard for them to think about or hear. But, yeah, all the bags had fentanyl in them, and they all had heroin in them. And, I mean, I can't say enough good things about it because it just felt so amazing every time. But what the hell am I saying? I'm just kidding. I'm not joking. There's nothing funny about it. I shouldn't have said any of that. I just take it back. It ruins your life so bad. The withdrawal sucks. But I'm just saying in comparison to some of the other things that you could go through, certain withdrawals that, like, you don't just feel like you're gonna die, but you could actually die. Like, I mean, how different is that than being, like, bit by a freaking zombie, knowing that you're gonna turn eventually into a zombie? Um, yeah. And it's like, unless you could find the zombie serum, um, yeah, there's nothing you could do. Someone's gonna shoot you in the head with a shotgun eventually. So, you better start looking for that whatever I was talking about serum. Um, I could keep going, but I'll stop. I don't want to make my first video 33 minutes long.